Appreciate you guys coming out to cover Penn State football. Obviously, the first thing you got to do is you got to give Penn State credit. You got to give Ohio State credit. You know, the number 2 team in the country, and very talented and played well. You know, for us, obviously early on we couldn't get things going offensively, especially with the running game, you know, which made us a little one-dimensional. Sean has not been healthy, you know, really the last couple of weeks, and it takes an aspect out of our offense. You know, and then when we were able to get Will involved, obviously it opened up another aspect of our offense, and you know, we were able to battle back there. You know, the crowd noise at the end of the game, we work on that as much as anybody, but obviously, you know, Will playing his first significant time in this stadium in front of 102,000, we were just in a position where the O-line could not hear him. They were guessing the cadence, and obviously, you know, that was an issue in the game. Defensively, thought we made some corrections. Early on, they were doing a bunch of empty motion to empty, line up and empty motion back, trying to get us into some looks that they wanted to see. But the biggest difference in the game was the quarterback's, you know, legs in the running game. You know, we were able to get him the 3rd and long, and he would take off for a run. Some 4th down conversions as well. And then from a field position standpoint, you know, we did a pretty good job a couple times offensively, but we were able to pin them deep inside their own 10-yard line. We let them go on a 90 play drive. And then when we needed to swing field position a few times, we didn't do that. So I don't have the final stats here, but you know, we lost the field position battle. We won the turnover battle, which was obviously significant, allowed us to get back in the game. We really had won the penalty battle until they're late in the game. We had played disciplined football, but we weren't able to be explosive enough. You know, they had explosive plays and we did not. So you know, that's really the gist of it. Open up for questions.
James, did you said Sean was banged up going into this last few weeks. Did you consider not playing him, and how did Will play under these circumstances?
Yeah, no, it's not to that point. You know, he's just not 100%, but not enough that you'd say you'd take him off the field. I thought early on Will came in and did some good things, gave us a spark, made some plays with his legs. He's a big physical runner. He was able to, you know, push the pile and break some tackles and finish some runs, made some early throws and things like that. So overall, I thought, you know, obviously Will did some good things, but you know, not having Sean 100%, I do think was a factor.
James, there have been a lot of teams down 21-0 who folded up in this place, including some Penn State teams I've seen. Not folded up, but I mean, your team didn't. Why, in your opinion, do you think that?
You know, we got a strong locker room. We got a bunch of really good guys. Everybody in there is totally invested and had a lot of confidence that we could come here and win. And obviously going down 21-0 to the number 2 team in the country is not ideal, but we battled. You know, you look at them statistically, they were 1 or 2 or 3 in the country in almost every offensive and defensive category. You got to give them credit. You know, they've done a really good job. You know, they're well coached, they're talented, but we got a pretty good team as well. We just didn't play well enough today to win. We did not have enough explosive plays. And then early on, you know, the quarterback's legs were significant. But we battle. That's who we are. That's really who we have been for 6 years. That's how my teams have been for 9 years. We'll fight and we'll battle. But again, you got to give Ohio State credit.
James, could you take us back to the interception over the middle with Will? What you guys were looking for? You guys had moved the ball well to get in that position.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, we don't want to force the ball down there. You know, especially when you're in scoring territory. But we didn't do that. You know, we forced the ball, you know, to the tight end, and you know, obviously it got intercepted. We're trying to manage the game. You know, he hadn't had a whole lot of work, and then he gets his work against the number 2 team in the country on the road. So we're trying to kind of manage how we were calling the game to help him and play to his strengths. But we were going to have to mix some passes in and things like that. But he'll learn from it. He'll learn from it. But obviously, once you get down in scoring territory, you can't do anything that's going to take points off the board.
James, what do you think changed, during that 17-point swing that you guys had there?
Well, the turnovers were a big part of it, and then we made some subtle adjustments in the running game. But the reality is, we broke some tackles that in the first half we didn't break. Broke some tackles and got some big runs, and that was at the quarterback position as well as at the running back position. But the turnovers were the biggest factor. They turned the ball over, gave us some opportunities to be able to capitalize on it, and we were able to do that, to a degree, to get this thing back to being a game and being competitive.
James, could Sean have come back in?
Yes. Yeah, Sean could have came back, but he would not have come back 100%. And Will was playing well, so we decided to stay with him. It would have been one of those deals where we put Sean back in, but you knew you would have been really lacking mobility. He's not 100% from a mobility standpoint anyway right now, and that would have been decreased even more.
James, from Lamont Wade, what have you seen from him over the last month, 2 months since camp, even with Las Vegas next year?
Yeah, I think the big thing that you guys don't get to see is his leadership in the locker room has been really good. He's a competitor. He cares so much about Penn State, his teammates. Him and Antonio Shelton were just excellent in the locker room. So he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Doing some really good things. We sure are glad we got him.
James, in the press box, it looked like the best defensive performance for your squad since the second bye week. How would you describe the way they responded to this challenge?
Yeah, we knew we had to make some adjustments. We knew we had to get back to playing, with a lot of confidence on defense, which we really had been doing for most of the season. And we were able to do that today. Dobbins has been running the ball on everybody. We were able to limit his impact. He still did some good things, obviously. But their quarterback running game, I think, was the big factor. We were able to, kind of get into some situations where we could get off the field, and then the quarterback running game factored into us. I thought we were pretty good in the passing game. We forced him to make some wide field throws and hit him. He hit them. You look at your statistic. I know Dobbins has got good numbers, but I felt like we managed it, for most of the game.
James, what did you think about your team's tackling in the first half? Because it looks like with this team, if you miss something, they're really going to make you pay. Were you?
Yeah, obviously it was an emphasis all week. There've been some times the last couple of weeks where we hadn't tackled as well as we would like when you're playing this type of team with this type of athleticism. When you're able to make them miss, when they're able to make you miss or break a tackle, they got a chance to go 80. So I thought for the most part we did a better job of that, but it probably doesn't necessarily show up that way because of the talent that they have.
James, what was the message to your team, in the locker room after the game? What was one thing that you want them to know after?
To be honest, there's not a whole lot you can say to guys in the locker room at that moment. Number one, I love them and appreciate them. That will never change. That will never change with me. It's not result oriented. They have unconditional love for me and the coaching staff. And, I've learned that it's not the time, to really make corrections. We'll do that on Sunday. But I'm proud of them. I love them. Give Ohio State credit. And, we still have a chance. Go 1-0 this week. Put us in a position to have double-digit wins and then go into a bowl game and find a way to get that one and go from there. So, tomorrow will be important, but most importantly, I love them and appreciate it.
Time for 2 more. Start with Rich.
What did you think of how you played against Chase Young, and what did you try to do against Chase?
Yeah, I thought early on, we did a pretty good job, again, of managing the impact, really up till probably the fourth quarter. Whether it's squeezing him with the back, whether it was sliding to him, whether it was mixing in the run game or throwing the quick game. But late in the game there, where we were getting in third and longs and we were having a hard time hearing the cadence and things like that, obviously that's not an ideal situation. But I thought up to that point, we had done a pretty good job of that.
James, you guys have gotten down to 36 early on and then punted. Was there any consideration going forward, or what was? I know sometimes you say it's a gut feel, sometimes.
I think it was 4th and 7, and we hadn't really moved the ball a whole lot. The game at that point was still a close game, so if you could punt them deep and pin them inside the 10-yard line, we felt like that was the best opportunity at that point. 4th and 7. You look at these guys, you don't want to be in 3rd and long against them. You don't want to be in 4th and long against them. The game was still tight. Punt them deep, play really good defense, and hopefully swing field position. But again, when we punted them deep and backed them up a few times, we weren't able to get off the field. They were able to go, 90 yards.
Hey James, why did Ricky make the trip?
Violation team rules.